Awesome.
All right. This is episode 93 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. The Bengals are gearing up for their first playoff appearance since 2016 and hoping for their first playoff win since 1991. But the Browns are still embroiled in a ton of Baker Mayfield drama. So we brought on Joe Vorell. Is that how you pronounce it, Vorell?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. We brought on Joe Vorell, who's a Browns fan, or obviously a Cavs fan, as you can see, to help me and Thomas break down exactly what's going on with that and what we're expecting to see from next season. Finally, the Steelers are about to get plastered by the Kansas City Chiefs, which I think is the intro I used last time.
What's the spread on that game?
Hi, Thomas.
Kansas City game.
Wait, what was that?
What's the spread on that Kansas City-Pittsburgh game?
It's got to be awful. I don't know.
It's awful. You know why? Because the Steelers still suck. Still brought it around to the intro.
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
What is the spread, by the way? I'm not interested.
Glad you did that, Thomas. As far as what the spread is,
we gotta get there.
It's Kansas City minus 800.
Kansas City minus 800.
That's the money line. That's not the spread. Hold on. Let's see.
Hey, hold on. So Kansas City going to score 800 points on them?
12.5.
That was a 12.5-point favorites over Pittsburgh. Okay. It seems a little low. It should be a little higher there.
According to CBS, is 12.5. They're 12.5 point favorites. So, yeah, the Steelers about to get fucking killed, and I'm all here for it. But I'm still pissed that the Chargers let them into the playoffs. And I say the Chargers because the Chargers are the ones who took that goddamn timeout.
Well, yeah.
That was
the Browns.
Did you guys both watch that game, that Raiders-Chargers game last week?
I
yeah.
watched it. I was pissed.
Yeah, I was going for a tie.
I was so ready for the tie, you know?
I know. Dude, I think what's his name? The quarterback for the Raiders, Derek Carr, said that I think they were going to just run it in overtime. They were prepared to go into overtime until San Diego called that timeout. And then they were just like, fuck it, let's kick the field goal, and boom. Well, the cool thing about that was, like, I think if they missed that field goal, they probably got to – or if they do get the tie, they're the 7th seed, and they got to play the Chiefs. So maybe they at the end they're like, you know what, I don't want to play the Chiefs. Let's play whoever they play, the Bengals, I think.
Yeah, still gonna lose.
Yeah, they the Raiders. Yeah, they played the Bengals over playing the Chiefs. Which, I mean, it's like the Bengals have been like one of the hottest teams in the NFL lately. But at the same time, the 2 times that the Raiders have played the Chiefs, they've gotten completely destroyed. When they played us, it was mostly a close game up until the very end, where we kind of pulled away pretty easily. That was mostly just because Derek Carr turned the ball over twice.
Derek Carr is very bipolar. He can be really good and he can really suck.
A lot of people in Cleveland want him.
If you hit him a lot, allegedly in cold weather, then he struggles.
So, with that said, this matchup, this is going to be a fun matchup from a Cleveland perspective. I know everybody in Cleveland is going to be watching this game. Personally, Kyle, look, personally, y'all in our division. Of course, we're gonna watch y'all. You're watching.
I feel like the Steelers Chiefs game would be more fun because that one's probably going to be real fun for Cleveland fans.
That's on a Monday night though, ain't it? Oh, Sunday night. Okay, Sunday night 8:15. That's gonna be hard to stay up for. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll probably watch that game as long as the Chiefs are smoking them. But like if it's a competitive game and Ben's having a really good downfield game and shit like that, I don't want to see the Steelers win it. So I'm not predicting they could even come close. But, I mean, if the Steelers do come up and they start, scoring and being competitive, I'm not going to sit there and stay up for that bullshit. I'll be sleeping by then.
Yeah, I'm not jinxing it, man. Like, Pittsburgh just always find a way to win. Like, why the hell are they in the playoffs right now?
How the fuck do they – since 06, the Steelers have not had a losing season. Not one time. If you take the 2 teams in Ohio, we've had 2 playoff victories since 1991. 2! Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
62 football years of playing, or say 58 because you subtract 3 years Browns over here. 58 years of playing, 2 football playoff wins.
And both of them are the Browns.
Right, and both of them are the Browns. the actual fuck?
And Thomas, I don't know if you're aware of this, Joe, but I mentioned it to Thomas on the last episode of the podcast. But the last time that the Bengals won a playoff game, the very next game we ended Bo Jackson's career.
Nice.
So that may be part of why we are cursed in this life.
His reaction, nice, just nice.
Great.
All right, so this matchup, man, like I really do think that the Raiders cornerbacks to me are the biggest issue in this game, and that's why the line is the Bengals are like 6-point favorites, and I know part of that's them being at home, but I really do kind of feel like that this game, and this is part of actually what makes me nervous as a Bengals fan, but it seems like this game is set up for the Bengals to like just kind of like easily walk away with the win, which again, as a Bengals fan, makes me think, oh God, this is where we get our hearts broken.
I see that sentiment. I mean, the Raiders are coming in. They don't have Gruden anymore, so they're playing for themselves. Usually when teams do stuff like that, they're very self-motivating. You know what I mean? They could get up for some shit. I mean, Derek Carr's a decent quarterback. If later on we're going to talk about Baker Mayfield and people who you would want, if they were looking at that, I would consider Baker and Cleveland or Carr and Cleveland like a third round or something like that. I wouldn't break the bank for Carr, like I would like a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers or something like that. But I mean, he's a solid quarterback. I mean, he earns that $25 million a year. I mean, they're in the playoffs without Gruden and that Max Crosby and that defense too. He's a beast. He's going to get in there. So it's going to be interesting, man. It's if the Bengals can go out, air it out downfield like they usually do. But I mean, a lot of those. It seems like the Bengals like great moments all come in real good bunches, and then they'll just have a couple games where they don't do that. You know what I mean? Like I remember, like when the year first started, Jamar Chase was like, "Oh yeah, rookie of the year" up until like week 7 or whatever. And then like for several weeks there was nothing, and then all again towards the end he started coming on again. So I can see that.
What happened is you had offense or you had opposing defenses. They started to think like, "Oh well, Jamar Chase is killing us. What happens if we just go ahead and just like triple team Jamar Chase, and then like he has no chance to do anything?" And then what ended up happening that worked for a couple of weeks. Like the Jets did it, and then I believe the Browns did it. I can't remember exactly what happened, but we went through that weird stretch in the middle of the season where we were losing and it wasn't looking very good. And then suddenly Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins started emerging. So it's like now, if you try to do the same thing with Jamar Chase, where you bracket him and you take like multiple guys and put them over top, then T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd's going to have a big game. And it's like Joe Burrow doesn't really care who is catching his passes. He doesn't even really care. He doesn't care if Joe Mixon's out there having a big day and he has 103 yards passing on the day or something like that. If the Bengals get the win, that's what he cares about. And so it really doesn't. The game plan is so adaptable because the Bengals are so dangerous in so many different ways that they can be explosive without having to just stay in one lane. And that's the one thing that I think that the Raiders are really going to struggle with, because defensively, the Raiders only seem like they only do one thing particularly well, and that's rush the passer. But I mean, here's the thing: Joe Burrow's been getting rushed constantly all year. Like that offensive line has not exactly been great, so he's used to it. We know how to win despite Joe Burrow taking 51 sacks on the season. Yes, that's right. He took 51 sacks.
Damn. 51. God damn. Is it 51 sacks?
Yeah.
3 a game.
Hey, man, his sack record's ready to retire. God damn. Fire the 401k on that. No, for me in this game, I think it comes down to the quarterbacks. Like you said, there's holes on both these teams have many holes, but a lot of holes that these teams were able to fill due to their phenomenal quarterback play. It's something that you can't say as a Browns fan, unfortunately. But Joe Burrow, he had 900 yards in his last 2 games, something crazy like that.
It was over 900, yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. So Joe Burrow is heating up. By the way, Kyle, like I said in the last podcast, I'm rooting for you. But a lot of Browns fans on Twitter, a lot of bandwagon Browns fans, yeah, I'm rooting for the Bengals because Ohio. The hell, I ain't gonna be a Browns fan to start rooting for the Bengals. Well, I'm rooting for the Bengals, not because they're from Ohio, but because of you, Kyle. Because I want you to be happy, and you can win a Super Bowl this year and not affect us, because I expect us to be in playoffs next year. So you know what? Go ahead, Kyle. Be happy.
Yeah, I don't want to share your enthusiasm. I mean, I'm not going to root against the Bengals per se. I mean, I don't necessarily hate the Bengals like we would like a Pittsburgh or a Baltimore, but I don't exactly like the Bengals. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I've ever really rooted for them unless it was affecting the Browns positively. So let's get into the predictions for this first game, this Bengals-Raiders game. I think the Raiders are going to sneak it out, man. I think Joe Burrow is going to be a little bit overwhelmed in the first playoff game. For all those fans, is going to feel that pressure. I think if I have a score, we're probably looking at like 27-14 Raiders, something like that. I think it's I just don't think the Bengals are going to be up to it, man. I just really don't. I mean, they haven't been to the playoffs in a while, and like you said, we haven't won a game in 91 years or since 91. And
91 years. 91 years, Kyle.
I'm 29, so for what that's worth, for me, it might as well be 91 years.
Oh, damn.
Well, I'm 45, and the Browns ain't won in my lifetime, so that shows you how crazy that is, right? Wow. Think about that. Everybody on this panel, how many years of living we got? 45 plus, well, you guys are both 30 probably. So 30 plus 30, about 100, over 100 years of living, we got one Super Bowl.
Wait. Who's got a Super Bowl? No, we got
one Super Bowl win between the two.
I thought you said we do have one. So I'm like, how? No. 2 Super Bowl appearances, and they're both my team.
Iggy Woods.
Going in my prediction for this game, by the way, since we're talking about it. You know what, though, Kyle? I've been actually going back and forth with this because, I know you saying, I know what you're going to pick, obviously, but I've been going back and forth on this because, I know Joe Burrow is hot and stuff, but then again, Zach Taylor's shown me some limitations, and I'm trying to like Zach Taylor, but there are some limitations here, and the Raiders, they're not going to just roll over and die. This is going to be a tough game for the Bengals.
Any weather concerns? Any weather concerns for this game? What's the weather going to be like?
Yeah, what is weather
going to be around 20 or so.
Ooh, that's cold.
Yeah.
Give me the Bengals.
Yep.
Just because y'all got a better running back, better quarterback, and better receivers.
Yeah, that's my thought process. Once again, I don't see how their cornerbacks. It's like I said for the Kansas City game, and then Joe Burrow went off for 400-something yards. I don't see how the Raiders cornerbacks are going to be able to keep up with our wide receivers. But something you said, Joe. You said Joe Burrow is going to get overwhelmed, and I don't think you have seen Joe Burrow. He doesn't do that. So I think Joe Burrow is probably the only person who could ever come to Cincinnati and just not feel the pressure of everything that happens. And I think because of that, and I've actually kind of had this dilemma because throughout this season, I've been watching the Bengals go out there and be successful. And I've been getting excited and being happy. But at the same time, it's almost kind of felt like that's not my team. This is a good team. This doesn't feel like my team.
Right.
So it's like Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow's from Southern Ohio, and he's awesome. And I went to the same school that I went to school while his dad was the defensive coordinator at my school, and so I've got some ties to Joe Burrow. It should feel like Joe Burrow's my quarterback, but at the same time, it also kind of feels like Joe Burrow is somebody else's quarterback who just kind of came here and now suddenly we're good.
Right.
So all the issues that Cincinnati has had in the past with winning playoff games and stuff like that is not going to be a relevant topic for this particular game. Now, whether or not they win, that's not necessarily saying that, but all of the pressure, all of the choking abilities that the Bengals have had in the past and stuff like that, that's just not a point of discussion that I think makes sense with this particular team. So like I said, I don't see how the Raiders are going to be able to keep up with us. I feel like they got Darren Waller, they got Josh Jacobs, so they have some weapons. But our defense has played really well this year, and the last time we played them, we only let the Raiders score 13 points. So I think if the defense can have a similar day to that, maybe keep them to 20 or something like that, I think the Bengals are going to pretty easily get to at least the 30 mark. Like I said, with all the receiving threats they have and everything like that, and the fact the offense is just clicking. I don't know if I'm still not sure if I think the Bengals are going to go super deep in the playoffs. I mean, maybe I think they're capable of it, but I do think they at least get this first win here.
The AFC's wide open. I'll tell you what, from 1 to 7, any one of them teams could get in there. And I'm not just saying that just because. I mean, there's glaring weaknesses in every team. I mean, fucking Patriots got a quarterback. I mean, Casey's been sketchy all year. Tennessee's barely done shit. I mean, it's going to be a wide open season, man. So any one of those teams could win it. Could get there.
In 1 year, the Browns would have had a chance to play. Like the Browns had like a.
That's the thing that pisses me off the most, Tom, is it fucking.
I know. Like the Browns had like
they were there. They were there with the first overall pick like 2 years ago.
Right there.
Oh, come on, man. That's not fair.
For me, it's the Raiders' loss. For me, I thought we had a chance up until if they beat the Raiders, this entire season. Like I bet you if they beat the Raiders, they probably would have won 3 in a row, 4 in a row for that. It's the Raiders' loss.
Green Bay shit. Think back to that first KC game. If fucking Gilligan's dumbass doesn't fuck up that punt, we probably win that.
I mean, or even just Nick Chubb's averaging 8 yards a run. Like, dude, you are 2 first downs from kicking a field goal and beating the best team in football. Like Kevin Stefanski, you are literally as educated as a rocket science.
Harvard. He went to Harvard.
Run the damn ball.
7% of people. Only like 7%. So if 100 people apply to Harvard, only 7 get in there.
It don't take a Harvard degree to know that Nick Chubb is just running all over the Green Bay Packers defense.
Nick Chubb, 5.3% or 5.3 yards per carry average over his career. He's like 6th best in NFL history. He's right the fuck up. He's like 1.1 below Jim Brown, and they don't even fucking use it. 15 carries a game, something like that. It's absolute disgrace, dude. Total disgrace.
They're trying to preserve his career. I don't know what they're preserving his career for because we're not like we're going to
a real team that you fucking actually play.
I mean, I think you got 1 more year before you go like, man, I gotta get the hell out of here if I want to win a championship in my career. Right. Yeah. So, all right. Are we still on the Bengals Raiders? Or we want to move on to the Browns quarterback situation? The offseason begins, or who should look for in the draft?
I think we could probably go ahead and move on to the Browns. We've been talking about the Bengals here for a minute, so the most recent news, and y'all can give me a little bit more insight as you will, but the most recent news that I've heard out of the Browns camp is that they are planning on keeping Baker Mayfield for their quarterback in 2022, which I believe, and again, from a purely unbiased perspective, I don't know what your perspective is on this, Joe, but I believe keeping Baker Mayfield around for a 5th year is in the best interest of the Cleveland Browns.
It probably is, unless you.
Yeah, probably.
There's 3 quarterbacks that I would 3 main quarterbacks that I would kick the tires on, at least send a flyer like, hey, what would this cost me if it's less than 2 first rounders? You know, maybe for Rodgers it would be 3, but Rodgers, Watson, and Wilson, I would kick the tires on those guys. At least send a flyer. If they come back like, oh, we want 5 first rounders, Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett, yeah, fuck off. We do all that, but kick the tires on those guys to a lesser extent. Maybe Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, guys like that. But, yeah, I mean, end of the day, it's probably 80-90% probably just to be Baker. Give him the surgery and put him back in there. It probably is the best move. I mean, we're going to debate back and forth all year after that Cardinals game, whether it was Baker who didn't want the surgery or whether they told him to go back in there. Who knows? I mean, at this point, fuck it. We can't worry about the fucking lost season of 2021. It's just going to drive us up a fucking wall at wasted talent and fucking bullshit. So, I mean, we just got that. He's getting the surgery, I think, tomorrow, actually. And then after that, man, hopefully the labrum comes in. And if you look at the statistics before Baker got the fucking shoulder or labrum, or where the fuck labrum is, he was still solid on the statistics. So, I mean, Stefanski's play calling is a big fucking issue, though, dude. Tom can attest to this. It's so garbage. I mean, dude, you could do the Ask Madden in every fucking play, and I guarantee the Browns would be in the playoffs if we Ask Madden in every play. That's how basic his fucking offenses and shitty they were. It was just that bad.
You know what's crazy? Is that if you watch the Bengals game, the Browns offense started doing all these trick plays and everything like they was doing last year. I'm like that. Like I said earlier, on the podcast. What happened to the man that I love? I love watching Kevin Stefanski's play calling last year. Like Kevin Stefanski's play calling last year was top notch, and this year it just got bland. He just looked like every single other Cleveland head coach. And I don't think Kevin Stefanski's a bad coach at all, because even still with all of this drama and all this bullshit and with a quarterback with half a shoulder, they still had the fourth best record they had since 1999.
Well, I will say how really complicated can you really make the play calling when you got a quarterback who is like, I mean, I don't really know what the play calling looked like for the first like before the Cardinals game, but after the Cardinals game, how complicated can the play calling really get when Baker Mayfield is so limited by his abilities because of that injury?
Right, he literally can only throw from the one side. He really can't scramble out of the pocket. He maybe only fucking scramble once or twice for a first down. That severely limits the plays you can do. And then Stefanski is obsessed with tight ends. He kept running the 3 tight end offenses and just go 5, either go spread in obvious running situations, and it's like, why are you doing this, man? Throw a fullback in there. Throw something in there. It's I don't know. But, I mean, it's a lot of it, too, was probably just guys not wanting to be there. I mean, let's be real. OBJ didn't want to be in Ohio. He never fucking did. Whole goddamn thing was debacle. If we would have drafted DK Metcalf, where are we today? So, I mean, you can't grind up. You got to move on. So, I think in the offseason, you get Baker the surgery. After you get turned down by all those teams for, extreme quarterback trades, you get Baker the surgery, draft the White out in the first round, see if maybe you could – get somebody for a second or third rounder pick in a trade like they did for Jarvis a couple years ago and just hope for the best. I mean, I don't see Higgins back in his team next year. Jarvis is probably 50-50. It depends on the cap hits. At the end of the day, I don't think he'll be back next year. So you're probably looking at a wide receiver room of Schwartz, DPJ, who's absolutely atrocious in catching the ball.
Yeah.
And, who else they got. So we probably have to start all over with the wide receivers. So God knows. Just get 1 or 2 deep guys and you should be all right. I mean, Schwartz should have been a deep guy, but he's not really good at all. I mean, his speed, he just sucks. I'm not going to lie. Schwartz and DPJ are both garbage. So, I mean, we're effectively looking at a 0 start from wide receiver, which is sad. I mean, going into the year, we thought we had one of the best, and OBJ and fucking Jarvis, and then so.
God, that's great. I agree with you, Joe, because I don't think I said on this podcast multiple times. Me and Kyle both said this that if you get Wilson and you get Rodgers, let's roll. If you get Watson on a lesser extent, I mean, my only beef with getting Watson is that the only thing that scares me about getting Watson is the drama that comes with it.
Oh yeah, you gotta make sure he's clear of charges.
Oh my God! But it's just like the media in the Cleveland. Cleveland. You know how Cleveland is.
Oh, yeah.
You know how Cleveland would just make that like an everyday story, and they're like, just shut the hell up. Can we just, it's not going to ever be about football. It's never going to be about football. It would never be about football watching coming. It would just be very not something that I just want to deal with. I just don't want to deal with that.
If we look, granted, Watson was probably a little more extreme case than Kareem Hunt was, but I mean, after we forgave Kareem Hunt pretty fast. I mean, we did
forgive Kareem Hunt pretty fast.
I mean, and if personally, I think what Kareem was a kind of overblown case a little bit, but I mean, if Watson did come in here, I mean, I think we would forgive him. I mean, I wouldn't hold it. I mean, it's once they figure all that out, you toss them a couple first rounders, maybe they'll do it. Who knows? I mean, I can roll with it, but I mean, like I said, we're probably looking at Baker next year. I mean, you got $18 million in his 5th-year option contract next year. If you cut on that, you're looking at a $23 million cap hit or something like that. It's ridiculous. And Haslam's an analytics-based owner. He's not going to make decisions that cost him money. So, I mean, that's pretty much just conducive to Baker coming back.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Baker comes back. I hope I think Baker, a healthy Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. I think that kid got a good arm. I seen it with my eyes. Kyle, you seen that throw, and we all was at that Bengals. We both were at that Bengals game when Baker threw that beautiful 50-yard pass to Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Baker's 8-1 against the Bengals. Is that now, Kyle? Going into next year? Let me ask you something. Going into next year, say the Bengals win Saturday, and they lose next week. Whatever. Going into next year, are Bengals fans still not liking Baker, or at this point don't they care?
Not like it, like they don't like.
But you guys don't want to play the playoffs. After doing the playoffs, you don't care. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of Bengals fans that I've seen, and you got to remember, a lot of Bengals fans are just as reactionary as most other NFL fans. But a lot of Bengals fans just don't respect Baker at all, despite the fact that you said he's 8-1 against the Bengals. He's actually undefeated against the Bengals. He's never lost. So despite that, Bengals, a lot of Bengals fans are like, man, I hope the Browns bring back Baker Mayfield. And I'm sitting here hoping, I kind of hope they don't, But objectively, I think the right thing for them to do is to bring it back.
I honestly do think that Baker come back next year. He do well next year. I truly believe that Baker was beat up this year because, like, at the same time, though, it was something that, like, was very underrated about quarterback. And Kyle, you talked about this. Is that Baker's at his best when he's being a game manager. He's managing the offense because Baker knows, like, one underrated quality about a quarterback. And you talk about this all the time with Joe Burrow. It's just knowing football, knowing offense, knowing the ins and outs of offense, knowing the strategy of football. And I think Baker, as a quarterback, recognized blitzes. I think he recognized formations. I think he recognized defenses. And I know he he hasn't really thrown, his first 2 years he thrown a lot of picks. But, like, you look at the last 2 years, he hasn't really thrown a lot of picks. With the exception, he had games where he had bad games where he had a lot of picks. But if you look at the first couple of games of the season, he didn't throw any picks the first few games of the season. It wasn't like the Ravens game, the bad one.
Before his shoulder injury, he really wasn't throwing hardly any picks. And he caught up to the rest of the. He caught up to Joe Burrow, and maybe not quite up to Joe Burrow, but he threw a lot of picks down the stretch. But again, like Joe was saying, a lot of that maybe just had to do a lot with the fact that he just couldn't get the.
He was in pain
behind his arm to actually get it where it was supposed to be going in the first place.
Yeah, he was in pain. He was getting worse as the season goes. You would tell. Like, Baker probably cost himself $20 million by not getting surgery.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, I don't know how good Case really would have been. There was a lot of fans like, oh, Case this, Case
I don't
that.
think it would have been good.
Case isn't really that good. I mean, that year he was in Minnesota. I mean, that was that defense is really good in Minnesota that year, and I just don't. He's an okay guy to come in there, and he did win the 2 games he played this year, but I mean, he's not gonna. He's not the future, obviously. He's nothing like that. I mean, your future is Baker. I mean, you got everything invested in him. And but the fan base is really weird with Baker. And let me ask you guys something about Baker, like in the cockiness. Like you remember when Ohio State and he played Oklahoma and he planted that flag? A lot of Ohio State fans really didn't like that. And Ohio State fans are obviously Browns fans. So there's some carryover from that. But do you think as Baker gets older, maybe he loses some of this, bravado and this stupid, cocky bullshit, macho crap and settles into the role better? I think that's what he's going to have to do. I mean, as he gets older, he's like 26 now. He's going to be 26 in April, so he's coming up. And he's getting older. Once these guys get older, they usually at least mature a little bit. No,
I don't know if that stops. I think it'll evolve. I think over time he'll get. I don't think that, like, confidence and that bravado and even that cockiness to a certain extent, I don't think that'll go away. But I do think that it'll change over time. He is going to mature, obviously, but it's going to that the cockiness is still going to exist. It's just I think it's going to he's going to be able to channel it, I think, in a little bit more of a constructive way than right now, where half the time it kind of comes off as he's like basically either giving people bulletin board material or pissing off his own players or stuff like that.
I think Baker Mayfield was a very, like you say, proud guy, but I think he always played with a chip on his shoulder. He listened to all the doubters because he want to prove them wrong.
He needs to get off.
And
he needs to get the fuck off of Twitter. He's like, there was another guy who used to always get on the Twitter and argue with people, but he's like, he always got engaged. He doesn't take criticism well. I noticed about Baker. Like, if I say, Biggie, you suck, he'll break down to like, oh, well, what about you and doing this? He doesn't. He just doesn't take criticism well. And that fucking wife of his, Emily, needs to shut her goddamn trap, dude. She's a yapper. And if you don't know anything about women who fucking, look at Yoko Ono. She fucked the Beatles up. I don't want fucking Emily Mayfield fucking Yoko Ono in the Browns, dude. I want her to just, be on the sidelines, be like Nick Chubb's girlfriend. Do we even know who Nick Chubb's girlfriend is? Probably not, because she Chubb's.
Nick Chubb got a girlfriend?
I don't even know if he does, because what I mean? Whoever Nick Chubb's fucking, they shut the fuck up. Emily Mayfield needs to do the same thing. Bottom line.
One of the radio hosts in Cleveland was saying, so we trade Odell Beckham for what his father did, right? But Emily Mayfield's been talking trash on the entire fan base the entire season.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not gonna bash Emily Mayfield because I don't know her personally, but you got a point here. The fan base, they are a little bit too engaged in the fan base and just read the room type thing. Like Baker, like there's people out here who's going to defend you. I promise you. There are people out here who want to defend you. Like me, I would defend him to the death, and I have. But it makes it really hard for me to defend you when just chill, just relax, bruh. Just like homie to homie, like we're about the same age, Baker. Just chill. I don't care. I thought it was funny that you played the flag on Ohio State. I don't give a damn about Ohio State, but just chill, dude. Just relax. Just relax. Trust me. Like you're here next year. Like even if you don't even Baker Mayfield leaves the Browns, I guarantee you the Saints are gonna gobble them up. I guarantee you Sean Payton's like, yeah, Cleveland release them. Because I know, look, dude, I know for a fact. I've said this to Kyle many times. Like if Sean Payton got Baker Mayfield, man, Sean Payton will put Baker Mayfield in his place, and he would turn Baker Mayfield into the player that Baker Mayfield thought they dreamed that he could be. I think if I was Baker, if best thing for Baker Mayfield's career is probably go to New Orleans. I think Sean Payton could do the best for Baker Mayfield. But with that said, like just chill, dude. You got talent. Just chill. You're coming back next year. You are hurt. We all know you was hurt. That is a valid excuse. I do think having a torn labrum is a valid excuse because it was obvious to everybody that your form was way off. So why don't you just fight your battles next time? Like you have smart people who run this organization right now. If you just said, hey, I am hurt as hell. I got my freaking, when you tear your labrum, all of this starts hurting. I like you said, anytime you throw, every single time he moved, he felt that. I promise you he felt that because I felt it for him. And I'm not a doctor or anything, but like, dude, if you just shut the hell up and tell people, look, I'm hurt. Give me some time to come back. We would have been like, fine, Baker, fine. And the people who would have yelled at you, they would have been assholes. But when you give other people bulletin board material, like you said, Joe, you make it 10 times worse. And then people like me, people like Joe, people like Kyle even, like, look, we can't even defend this guy because he keep on putting his foot in his mouth. Like, chill, dude, just chill. Chill.
Baker, this is a weird thing to say because he's not even ever been close to being anything of the best in the league. But I would say Baker's right up there with top 5 most hated people in the league and other fan bases. People just don't like him. Yeah. They just do not Baker at all. I talked to Falcons friends and Patriots friends and shit like that, and they're like, Baker's a cocky asshole. He has no talent. That's all they say. I mean, they don't see anything.
They hate that dude.
We look at it through brown and orange rose-colored glasses, but I mean, he's not a liked person at all. And a lot of that may be just the commercial and, like going back to the cockiness and stuff like that. But, yeah, he needs to just throttle it back. And then part of that's just getting older. I mean, at least I would hope. I don't know. Like if Baker was in the league at 33, I don't think he's going to go out there and get on Twitter and get in fucking arguments with fucking, people who have 10 followers and shit like that. So maybe he just does have to grow up. I mean, it's all learning process. I mean, we've went over every single possible scenario in terms of fucking up. I mean, mathematically,
every single one
next year. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, this offseason, they're not going to go into the offseason, not getting any talent. So, I mean, you got to figure they're going to kick the tire on some free agents. And so if they bring 2 or 3 free agents in here and get a decent draft, I mean, who knows? Grant, I was saying the same thing a year ago today. But, I mean, we're eternally optimistic here in Cleveland. We're just going to play the law of mathematical averages and figure, fuck it, eventually they got to win something, right?
Yeah, I mean, thank God we got the Cavs.
Right?
God. Oh, Cavs are awesome. I know, the Cavs are so much fun. No, dude. Yeah. Garland and Mobley and – freaking
he's a beast. That's your Allen too, right?
I know. Kevin Love refinanced his deal with the Illuminati. Yeah, this is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, what happened? Kevin Love fucking turned around 180, dude. I'll tell you what. I hated. I even used the word hate. I hated Kevin Love for what he did. All that shit. Now I'll tell you what. He's having a great renaissance year. I'm not saying he's worth the $31 million, but I mean, off the bench, he's exactly what the spell team needs, man. It's really good. It's a great rotation they got going. Bickerstaff's a hell of a fucking coach.
Hey, Joe. So we might do predictions of the NFL playoffs games.
Let's do it.
You ready? You want to do? You want to hop in this?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the other 2 teams in the AFC North before we do that, Kyle?
Well, we only really need to talk about one of them. There's nothing to talk about with the Ravens. But before we get on to that, I just want to say I like Baker Mayfield. Like as a person, I've always been a big Baker Mayfield fan, especially when he planted the flag on OSU's logo. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
It was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, it's just funny as fuck.
That was funny as hell. I thought it was funny as hell. I mean, come on, like like if Justin Fields did that to Michigan, everybody know how it's going to be. Like they have T-shirts.
Right. And then Fields on Iwo Jima and shit.
I Justin Fields, Michigan. All right.
I just I pulled up my Facebook and I just had a Facebook memory come up that said dick move by Hugh Jackson to sign with the Clowns, but honestly I can't hate him because I just feel bad for him.
They hired Mike Pettin 7 years or 8 years ago today as well. The Browns did.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I just go back in my because I've been on Facebook since I was in college, like 2004 when it first came out. So I like to just type in any coach and search, and I can see the post going back. It's great. It's so funny what you're talking about in 2009 and 2010 with the Browns. It's still same shit every fucking year.
Well, yeah, that's why I think it's the own. That's why I think it's probably might be the owner. Maybe it's time for us to get a new owner instead of just a.
I mean,
that ain't gonna happen.
If you're breaking it down, Haslam is the fucking problem.
Haslam is the problem.
Harvard because he thinks he can buy his way out of anything. Fucking analytics to solve anything. Look at his business practices. The guy's not a good businessman at all. Look, dig deeper into Jimmy Haslam. He's kind of, you guys familiar with wrestling a little bit, right? WWE. How Vince McMahon took his company from his dad. Jimmy Haslam did the same thing and just kind of fucked it up. And he's just been, Donald Trump has way to backdoor deals to get more money, and he's not a good owner. I don't like Haslam at all. I'm not gonna lie.
He's not. And like, Joe. What's crazy about that is that I said that on the last couple podcasts is that I like everybody's attacking Baker Mayfield, but I think the person that we need to attack the most is Jimmy Haslam. You're talking about a guy who, by the way, he wasn't even supposed to be the guy who bought the Browns. The reason why he was able to buy the Browns is because of Rooney's. The owners of the Steelers put in a good word for him. There was actually a long list of people who were qualified buyers, who were billionaires from Cleveland, from Ohio, who were lifelong Browns fans, who had a lot more qualifications to buy the Browns than Jimmy Haslam. Jimmy Haslam skipped the line because he got a good word from the Roonies. And you talking about a guy.
There's a conspiracy theory about that. Al Lerner came from Pittsburgh stock. And, you just talking right there, fucking Haslam came from Pittsburgh stock, kind of like, is Pittsburgh or the Rooney's backdoor fucking sabotaging the Browns so they can just keep, the Pittsburgh dynasty. There's teeth to this. Look at the records. Like I said earlier, since 2006, the Steelers have not had a losing season one time. Since 2006, the Browns have only had 2 or 3. It's kind of fucked up. Think about it.
It's really messed up. I didn't have to think about it that way. But they did pick our last owner. They picked our owner. The Steelers picked our owner.
And to show you how unloyal Haslam is to Ohio, next time you're at the Browns game, look at the Jumbotron.
Looks like Tennessee. Looks like Tennessee.
Yep.
Looks like Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Because he's Tennessee born, Tennessee raised. He doesn't give a fuck about Ohio, and it shows in his business practices. Fuck you, Jimmy Haslam. Yeah, I said it.
I don't like, but here's the thing.
Here's the other crew.
Don't even get me started on that fucking bullshit. Because that's all conspiracy to get the Browns down to Columbus. He starts putting the crew up there. Oh, we'll give Browns season ticket holders backdoor access to the crew. I don't want to go to fucking soccer games. I've been in America for 45 years. If I would have watched soccer, I'd have watched it back when Pele was playing in 1980. I'm not watching it in 2020. So Jimmy Haslam, you can stick your little soccer team up your fucking ass. Because I don't want to watch that bullshit. And you best keep the fucking training camp up here in Berea. Don't be taking that shit down to Columbus. We don't want that shit. These are the Cleveland Browns. They're not the Ohio Browns. They're not the fucking Columbus Browns. They sure shit ain't the Tennessee Browns. So fucking keep that training camp up here, asshole.
I like this guy.
I can't say any better though. I just can't. It was like, here's the thing though, and the whole thing. My biggest beef with Haslam though is that when you look at the drama, that the most consistent thing about the Browns has been the drama. The drama and the leaks. The drama and the leaks, right? So why is this team always constantly having this drama? And then why every single time the media get these leaks, so many people are defending the media for knowing too much information? Why is the media knowing as much information? Like, no, y'all shouldn't blame the media for knowing. Like, wait, hold up. Why does Mary Kay have such a good relationship with D. Haslam? Like, I'm not. Look, Mary Kay, I ain't coming after you. Don't call me a sexist or anything. But I just think that the media in Cleveland have way too much access to this locker room. I just honestly think that. I think that we are getting way too many leaks on this team. And I get it. It's your job. If I was a reporter, I'd be the same way. I'll be like, as soon as I hear a story, I'm reporting that. So I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming the Haslams for allowing these troubles and these leaks and these drama to leak out year after year after year.
Going back to the Manziel draft. Remember what he told about the homeless guy telling him to draft Manziel?
That's why I personally believe that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry did not want to play Baker Mayfield this year. I think it was Jimmy Haslam. I think Jimmy Haslam was forcing Baker Mayfield down our throat this year. I honestly believe that.
I would agree with that. I would 100% agree with that.
I hate that dude. We need to run him out of town.
Right? Jesus.
Anyway, let's get these predictions. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Steelers real quick. Although I guess there really ain't a whole lot to talk about because, like I said, they're a zombie team. They have no business being in the playoffs. The only reason they made it is because
the Jaguars beat the fucking Colts. What were the odds of that?
Well, there's that. But I mean, it wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't even mattered. Think about that taunting call on Cassius Marsh, like way back in the Chicago Bears game. If the Steelers hadn't been handed game after game after game, this wouldn't even be a talking point. Everybody would be like, "Oh yeah, the Colts lost to the Jaguars. Who cares? They're in it anyway."
I agree. I mean, the Steelers do have a fight. They do have a puncher's chance. I mean, I'm not going to say that this is a guaranteed KC win. I mean, it's
Did you see what they did to him a couple weeks ago?
That was. I gotta refresh my memory. Hold on. Let me get in there.
They beat the hell out. It was like 30-0.
Oh, nice.
Well, keep in mind, who are the KC beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers came back and beat them in the Super Bowl.
Let's see.
Well, I mean, fair enough.
36-10. Okay. That was at Kansas City. So this is gonna be at Kansas City too. Yeah, I mean, that one. I mean, it's gonna. I mean, I'm not. I can't. There's no way in the hell I'd ever predict the Steelers win. But the Steelers do got a good defense. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, if TJ Watt is healthy and they're running in there, I mean, they still got great defense. But I mean, if Kansas City has Mahomes and Kelsey and Tyreek Hill healthy, they're unstoppable pretty much in the playoffs. I mean, Mahomes got. I've not hit the passes on his or the touches on his passes. His sidearms are just fucking next world, dude. He's such a great football player. So at the end of the day, I think the Chiefs are going to win this 35-16, somewhere like that. I'm going to write all my scores down here. So,
man, why? Like I was so mad the Steelers are in the playoffs. Like the Browns should be in the playoffs right now. Like the Browns are such a better team than the Steelers, and like we just
honestly the way the Browns kind of played at the end of the year, y'all deserve to be in the playoffs about as much as the Steelers do. Not gonna lie.
I couldn't believe it when it said, like, yeah, of course they made it. Of course. Like I wasn't even mad about it. I wasn't even mad about it. I was just like, oh yeah, of course they did. Of course these MFers make the playoffs. Like, yeah.
Right.
You're
watching that game. You're watching the game knowing they were just gonna tease you because the Chargers were getting smoked. Vegas was killing them. And then Herbert comes back and pulls off this miracle-ass comeback with the crazy-ass 2-point conversion and a last-second pass. You're like, okay, maybe this is going to happen. But you're like, I know. I've seen this movie before. I'm a Browns fan. I've seen this movie before. Sure enough, the fucking same movie played again and again. The fucking Steelers are in the fucking playoffs. And the goddamn Ben Roethlisberger cocksuck fest. Oh, God, it was disgusting. That was so
and then, like, here's the funny thing about it.
Did you listen to the TV broadcast of that Browns Steelers game? Oh my God, shut up. Like, for real.
I didn't watch the second half of that game. I went to sleep. That's weird for me, but I just couldn't deal with it. I had to work the next day too. It was Monday night game, and obviously it not meaning anything, didn't whatever. And I just that first I watched like the first quarter, first and a half. Anyways,
they were treating this dude like he was Kobe Bryant.
My cousin Matt, he taught down at University of Miami. And he had Roethlisberger as one of his students in his poli-sci class. So he's dumb as a box of shit. He's a fucking idiot. Total idiot.
I'm gonna start using that.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with the classroom. I really appreciate it.
So you got in this game, Kyle. What's the score? What's you going to drop?
What game?
KC Pittsburgh. Who do you got, and what's the score going to be?
What's fucking score? Well, Kansas City. Clearly. As far as what the score is going to be, man, like, what was I right? Was it 30-0?
It was 36-10, I believe.
36-10. Okay, so I'm going to go with 30-0.
Nice shutout. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, the Steelers ain't going to do shit. Ben Roethlisberger even admitted that the Steelers have no chance.
Right. He said we're the best. He said there's 4 teams here. We're probably the 14th best team in this thing or some shit. That was great. That was a great.
Which is funny because they're not even the 14th best team in the NFL. They just happen to get in.
That's true. I mean, the Colts and the Browns are better than them. Shit, the Ravens are probably better than them.
The Chargers
wins fucking suck.
Yeah, the Chargers fucking. You could argue the Broncos are probably even better than them.
Like how did they make the playoffs? I was just like, by the way, you said they got good defense. What they have, Kyle? Like the 21st ranked defense in the NFL or something crazy like that. They still made the playoffs.
Something like that.
The Browns have the 5th best defense in the NFL, man. Like defense doesn't win championships.
Mike Tomlin gets the best out of his players. I'll tell you what, he does. He really does.
And he also make them all go crazy.
Because the 06 and 08 Pittsburgh teams that won the Super Bowl, they were chalk with talent. When they had the Boston as the tail end, they had some really good players in. But I mean, after 2011 when they lost to the Packers and kept going, the Steelers roster they would take guys that come out of nowhere and just every year, fucking boom, boom, superstars. Like, Jesus Christ, that Tomlin did that, man. I think AB was a fucking 6th-round pick. Think what he did with him, and think back to all the running backs they drafted, and look what happened after they left the Steelers. Fuck, dude. Ridiculous. AB was a Hall of Famer when he was with the Steelers. He leaves, look what happened.
So what you got for this game, Thomas?
All right, I guess I'm last then. Yeah, give me the Chiefs. I mean, like there's still I think it's gonna be a close game. Don't shoot the messenger. It's gonna be a real close.
I got that gut feeling too.
Don't shoot the like. Look. I might be real with y'all. Like the reason why I've been so quiet about roasting the Steelers this game is because I just don't got a good feeling about this, dude. I don't. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't. Because it's not because the Steelers are good or anything. It's just they always just find some goddamn way to win a game. And how do I always say they do? The Steelers always do to win these games, to beat teams they don't have no business beating, is that they slow the game down and they keep it close. They slow it down. So, like, you'll be playing the Steelers and you only get the ball 3 times. And you'd be like, damn, what happened to the – you're like, damn, we only had the ball 3 times. Like, you watch the whole game, you're like, damn, we only had the ball 3 times. Because they slow the game down so much. They make every single possession 6 minutes for both teams. So you only get like 3 or 4 shots to beat them, and they maximize every single one of their possessions. So if you don't score every single possession on the Steelers, you don't beat them. And it turns out you only going to get 3 possessions. So, like, they will maximize every single mistake that you make. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how the hell they do it, but that's how they do it. And it's such a frustrating thing to watch because you're thinking like, man, we're a better team in this. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But I still think Patrick Mahomes will prevail. So give me a 17-14 win, Kansas City over Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Barely.
Okay.
Najee Harris had 307 carries this year. Nick Chubb only had 228. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and Nick Chubb still had more yards than him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. 5.3 yard average, and fucking Harris barely broke 4. Chubb would have had fucking over 1,500 yards if he had that kind of carries. That's crazy, bro.
Shit. All right.
What you got,
All right.
All right, I got KC 35, Pittsburgh 16.
I like that.
All right.
Never get behind that.
All right, let's get some other playoff games now. I'm excited about this.
All right.
Oh, by the way,
by
the way, before we do this, Joe, last year me and Kyle did a jersey bet. Now, what kind of bet should we do this year for the playoffs prediction?
All right, what was you said last year you bet a jersey?
Yeah, he won. He won a Joe Burrow jersey. How about that? Yeah.
Oh, so you had to buy him a Joe Burrow jersey? Is that how it worked?
Yeah. What should we bet this year? Something fun.
Let's see. See, I like Joe Burrow, man. Joe Burrow's an impossible guy to hate, dude. He really is.
Yeah, I know. Just sitting there smoking a cigar. Yeah, I whoop Alabama's ass.
Right. He's just it's like you have two divisional quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger's so easy to hate, and Burrow's so easy to like. Granted, Roethlisberger, him beating us probably is the reason for the hate. But even then, I mean, it's like, as a person, you wouldn't want to kick it with the Ben Roethlisberger. You'd want to go party with the Joe Burrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably funny as fuck,
Yeah, I was at Home Alone. That was me. Well, we'll figure out that bet later. But for now, Kyle, what game are we going to do first?
All right. So next game we got the New England Patriots traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. Why don't we?
Oh, it's a fun one.
Joe, you went last. Why don't you start first this time?
I think this is a weird thing to say, but I don't like Allen in the playoffs. I really don't. I think he's gonna. I just don't see him doing it in the playoffs. I think
that's fair.
I don't like the rookie quarterback, but it's Belichick, man. I think the Patriots take it. It's gonna be close though. It's gonna be really close. This will be a very struggle affair at 20-16 New England. I would say something like that.
Okay. What about you, Thomas?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Joe on this one. I said on this podcast after the Patriots smoked the Browns, I think the Patriots are the favorite to come out of the AFC. Bill Belichick is back. We forget that this man is the greatest coach, or one of the greatest coaches of all time. He got a defense. McDaniel is calling great plays. Mac Jones is just plugged into the system. They got some good running backs. They got some great tight ends. They got two of the top 5 highest paid tight ends. You talk about Kevin Stefanski being in love for tight ends. Look at McDaniels. You guys probably should. I'll say that. I love Stefanski, but I think McDaniels should have been our coach because I think McDaniels was right about the Browns. He said he came to the Browns organization. He said that the organization's a mess. You guys got to clean up from top to bottom the organization. The Housing didn't like that, so they didn't hire him. But that's another story for another time. I still think McDaniels, Bill Belichick is the greatest coaching combination of all time. You've been Patriots.
All right. What's your score?
I think the Patriots defense is going to give Allen a lot of problems. I think they're going to expose Allen this game. Yeah, I said it. 13 for the Bills, 27 for the Patriots.
All right. 27-13. All right, so I'm going to push back on y'all on this one. I think the Bills are going to get it done. So, I think you both mentioned, Thomas in particular mentioned Mac Jones as a positive trait. But so here's the thing. The Bills have played the Patriots twice this year, right? The Patriots won the first matchup, and Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times. Three times. The second time, he threw the ball more. He threw 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So, to me, I feel like, the Patriots won that first game, but it was kind of an anomaly game. The second game kind of felt like more of the real kind of what these two teams are. I think the Buffalo Bills are just the more explosive team right now. And I think they're on a little bit more of a hot streak than the Patriots are at the moment. So I think the Bills are going to take this game. I don't think it's going to be particularly hugely close. I'm going to go probably, let's say 35-21.
Okay. Kyle, another factor though, and the reason why I'm going back with this, and the Patriots, when the Patriots played the Bills the first time, you got to consider the weather. The weather was horrible that first game. The second game, the weather was more in playable conditions. I think this is going to be another weather game. I think it's going to be another game where the weather is going to be horrible in Buffalo, and it's going to be harder to throw, harder to pass, harder to have explosive offenses there. And that's why I think the Patriots have proved that they play better, ironically, considering even though the Bills play in a colder city, New England's still a cold city, we're not gonna, or Boston's still a cold ass city, let's be real. But I still think that the Foxborough is what I'm thinking of. But I still think the Patriots can slow the game down and play in that bad weather better than the Bills can, believe it or not. I don't know.
It's a good point. Yeah, because you consider that game when Belichick ran the ball or passed the ball 3 times. I mean, if he does that in a cold weather game, I mean, I haven't checked the weather for that game, but I mean, if it is, this whole area is supposed to get some kind of snow and some shit. So who knows? We'll see.
Yep. All right, we're gonna be next.
Next, we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Los Angeles to play the Rams.
Ooh.
Skidding,
dude. Skidding.
This is what it is.
Into the playoffs. The Cardinals lost 6 of their last 7. The Rams are on a 4 or 5 game losing streak ever since they got OBJ. They haven't won a game, I don't think. Where it's been close.
Something like that.
It's a hard one.
This is a good one.
Rams are favored by 4, but they're in LA, where there's usually not a home field advantage. But Arizona doesn't travel well, so it doesn't play into account here, I would say.
Yep. Thomas, why don't you go first?
This is where this episode gets fun, because there are some fun wild card matchups, and we are going to disagree a lot on this one.
Are you sure this one's fun? I don't know if this. I think this is going to be a bad game.
Okay, look, I'm happy I'm going first on here. I'm going to Rams. I'm going to Rams. I don't. You criticized Cliff Kingsbury on his podcast last episode, Kyle. I'm going to go off what you said. I think that the Cardinals had a hot start this year, and they kind of slowed up at the end. Very similar to last year. The Cardinals had a high start last year, and they started to get exposed. And I just think that McVay is a better coach. I think that Stafford's finally going to get his first playoff win. He's going to be hungry for it. The Rams have been clicking all year. I know he's been struggling ever since Odell came, but I don't think it's been that much of a struggle where it's going to be noticeable. I think McVay is going to prevail this one. I'm going with the Rams.
My heart wants to go with the Rams because for some reason, I just don't like Kyler Murray. I think a little bit of jealousy because we had a first round pick, and our first overall pick, and we got Baker, and they got Kyler, and then et cetera. But I think that. Man, this is a hard one, dude. This is probably the hardest game for me to pick because both these teams are really on a down streak. I mean, like I said, the Rams are lost 4 or 5 in a row, but the Rams came close to it. They really did. It's not like they got blown out, and the Cardinals just look like shit in some of them games. So I think the Cardinals. My gut just tells me the Cardinals are going to win. I want the Rams to win, but my gut just tells me the Cards are going to win. It's going to be 28, 23 maybe, 28, 23 Cardinals.
Okay.
All right, what was your score prediction, Thomas?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the score. By the way, who was playing home this game?
Joe, did you say 28-23 Cardinals?
Yeah, this game's in the SoFi Coliseum or whatever.
Yeah, it's in LA. I'm gonna go with offense this game. I think there's gonna be a lot of offense this game. I think it's gonna be a fun game to watch. So give me 35-30 Rams over Cardinals. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna go with the Rams here too. I just think the Rams are the more explosive team. I don't know if I entirely believe in the Rams to go all the way this year. They've been showing a lot of inconsistencies, but the Cardinals are just like I don't know. I don't know if I ever really bought into the Cardinals. Like I do power rankings on ATB Network. And I put them at number 1 there for a while, but only just because I couldn't really justify not putting them.
Right, they're undefeated. Yeah,
I don't like Cliff Kingsbury as a coach. I never really have. I like Kyler Murray as a quarterback, but I don't know. Arizona's just never really felt like they're set up to succeed to me, and the way they've been playing down the stretch this season has kind of confirmed that to me. So I think the Rams. I agree with Thomas. I think it's going to be a high-scoring shootout type game. But I think the Rams' defense is better than the Cardinals' offense.
Aaron Donald's he's looking at
as long as as long as Matt Stafford doesn't implode. If Matt Stafford has a bad game, then we might be talking about something else. But as long as Matt Stafford doesn't implode, I think the Rams should win this game. So I'm going to call it. I'm going to go a little off the rails here with my prediction. I'm going to say 41 Rams, and then let's call it like 30. Fuck.
30 fuck.
41 30.
41 30 fucks. All right. Okay. Y'all hear that? Okay. 41 30 fucks. I got no more fucks to give out anymore. I gave all my fucks when I was in college. Unfortunately.
Sure you didn't give them the Browns?
Nah,
I don't give a fuck about them anymore. It's hard to get fucked.
I gotta show you this cool shirt I found the other day, Thomas. You're gonna get a kick out of this shirt. You were probably a fucking baby when this came out, but look at this one. The Browns are back in town. Cleveland Browns expansion draft. February 9th, 1999. Isn't that wild?
Wow. By the way, I do remember. I was 5 years old. I do remember the Browns' first
Jim
game.
Pine was the first pick for that expansion draft. We took him from the Lions. He was a guard.
They should have got more guards.
All right, jeez.
Poor Tim Couch. Kyle hates the Browns because they ruined Tim Couch because he's a Kentucky fan. So, Cincinnati's in Kentucky.
We should have drafted McNabb, but whatever.
Tim Couch better than Donovan McNabb. Y'all just ruined him.
I don't know, because he went up to Green Bay and he didn't do shit up there. But
They're both better than Keely Smith, though.
that's true. That's true. Remember that Dante Culpepper? Remember him? He had a great.
He started out fucking hot.
Dude, he was so good, man.
I like Cynical Wallace.
Cynical Wallace. He's like five. He's like the fucking dollar store Russell Wilson. That guy sucked.
He was 2009 AFC Player of the Week of week like 4 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Antoine Randall.
All right.
What game?
So we got San Francisco 49ers traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys. Now this might be a good matchup.
Like,
we want to talk about an
game.
old school rivalry and
like
two
this
teams
game.
that are playing well.
I like this game.
Man, this is why I'm so happy we're doing like the playoff. This is why I wanted you on this, Joe, because like I love doing playoff predictions. Like this is the funnest thing in the podcast, just doing playoff predictions. Even though Brown's not a part of it, it is still a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
doing playoff predictions.
And see what he did, and every once in a while you get an exact score. You're like, check this out. So
You want to go first on this one, Joe?
Oh yeah, I can. I really like this matchup, man. The Niners are a really intriguing team to me, man. I really fuck with the Niners. The way they won last week, the way they've been playing recently, how they got into the playoffs recently. I'm going to pick the Niners in an upset here. I know that's kind of crazy, but I mean, I think I like Dak. I really do. Dak's a phenomenal quarterback. But man, with that Deebo Samuel and just that running attack that the Niners have, man, I just think it's going to prevail in the playoffs. I really like the Niners here. It's going to be a really close one. This is going to be a fun game, dude. 27-24. Goddamn, not the Cowboys, the other team. Don't forgot already because I'm smoking too much weed.
49ers.
Yeah, 27-24 Niners.
All right, got you.
All right, Thomas.
I'm going to go with the 49ers. Simply put, I think the Niners got a better coach.
Good one. Dallas is only 3-point favorites in this game too, and that's just
the Niners have been finding ways to win games. They're very well coached. They have a way better coach. I think this is going to be a game that matters to him and his family. And I think Garoppolo's playing, right? Garoppolo's starting for sure, right? We're starting Garoppolo. I don't think Garoppolo is as bad as we are led to believe. I mean, he's not great, but I don't think he's bad. I think he's a middle road quarterback. But the thing is that he was one throw away from winning a Super Bowl, and like to get to that moment, I know like he missed that one throw, but he got them to that moment. I think he gets them to that moment again because he's a very smart quarterback. He's very we talk about the X's and O's of offense. Quarterbacks know that, and the running game and all that stuff, and the strategy that the 49ers is going to have. Give me the 49ers.
All right, Sleepy Cow, who you got?
What's your score, Tom?
Sleepy Cow. 21-17 Niners.
All right, so Joe, you said that you think you picking the Niners is crazy. But I don't know how crazy that is because I'm picking the Niners too. So all three of us are picking the Niners.
Sweep of the Niners.
How about them Cowboys? I can't wait to go back to this one.
Not much. Dak Prescott, before the game before they absolutely just like beat the shit out of the Eagles, Dak Prescott was looking like he was kind of on a little bit of a slide at the end of the year. So I think you made a good point about Mike McCarthy versus Kyle Shanahan. I think the Niners need to have a total like win over the Cowboys to actually come out with a win here. They need to play a total team game to do it. But they've shown that they can do it. They've beaten some really good teams, even though like they kind of had to really fight to go make the playoffs. They've still beaten some really good teams on the way to go do that. Like, they beat the Bengals, they beat the Rams twice. I mean, this is not some like cupcake number 7 team here. This is like a really legitimately good San Francisco 49ers team. It just kind of depends on which 49ers team you're getting. So if you get the good 49ers team, I think they win this game. And I mean, I'm going to call it, probably going to, I think I'm going to split the difference between what you guys are saying here. I'm going to say, let's call it 24-21. 24-21 Niners.
Oh, my fan. On my bedroom.
I think we got one more game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
No, we got 2 more games.
Remind me, what was your score prediction, Joe, for the Bengals Raiders game?
Bengals Raiders was Raiders 24, Bengals 17.
Okay. And Thomas, what was your prediction?
Oh, that feels so much better.
What was your score prediction for the? Can you hear me?
All
now?
right. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry. I put on my fan because I was hot.
Okay. What was your what was your score prediction for Bengals Raiders earlier?
Bengals Raiders. I can't remember. I think I just threw a number out there. But those who watched this podcast earlier, I know. But I'm gonna just switch it up. I did pick the Bengals over the Raiders. I think I said like 20.
I thought you
20.
picked the Raiders.
Who, me? The Bengals or the Raiders? No, I said the Bengals.
You picked the Raiders.
Did I? I thought I said the Bengals.
Yeah,
I said I thought I said the Raiders. The Bengals are going to. He picked the Raiders.
Yeah, I picked the Raiders. I think Tom picked.
I thought you both picked the Raiders.
No, I said the Raiders are going to still keep it close, but I think the Bengals have better. I said the Bengals have a better quarterback, better receiving core, and better running back. So I'm going with the Bengals.
All right. So
and he's like, "Oh yeah, I see your point, Thomas." Exactly what your exact words were. I can go back and rewind the tape too.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I thought I recall you saying the opposite. But anyway,
27-24. 27-4-24. I'm just gonna go with that.
Okay. And then I believe I said like 30. I forget exactly what I said. Like 37 to something.
Yeah.
I was like 35. I think I said 35 to like 24 or something like that.
Yeah,
it was around that. I can't quite remember, and I'm not going back and watching.
All right, this last game, dude, I think this is gonna be the most lopsided game of the week. I don't think the Eagles deserve to be in the playoffs. I think Brady's gonna fucking run like a goddamn banshee over these people. I got Buccaneers 35-10. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna look like a fool in this game. I think, they're just gonna light it up. Brady, this is just Brady's destiny year, dude. You feel it. He's gonna get that fucking MVP trophy, maybe another Super Bowl MVP, and I don't know. It has another Brady. Honestly, it has Brady Belichick Super Bowl written all over it. But
yeah, it does. Going to say the same exact thing. I was going to say same exact thing. It's going to be a Patriots Buccaneers Super Bowl.
All right, so I'm guessing that means you're picking the Buccaneers then, Thomas.
Hell yeah, I'm picking the Buccaneers. I love me some Jalen. Like I love me some Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, you my boy. Like I think you're going to be a great quarterback in the future and everything. But your franchise sucks.
The Eagles are so bad, dude. How the fuck did the Eagles get in the playoffs and the Browns didn't get in the playoffs? This is a concept.
Because they're in NFC and they got the 7th seed, and
fuck, bro.
Yeah, I know. How did 2 AFC East teams make the playoffs?
I'll tell you what, too. This might be in my entire career of watching football. This might be the worst overall year for talent in terms of like any squad could lose. Like 1-14. I can't remember in any years past when it was this mediocre. You know what I mean? Like it's been a very mediocre. Granted, a lot of that was COVID and just random shit, but it's been a really mediocre football year, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think because the talent in football I think the talent in football is as spread out this year as it's ever been.
Oh yeah, the parity's kicking it. The parity's really working.
So what's your score, Thomas?
I don't know. 40 to 0 fucks. I'm joking. Give me the Buccaneers. 37-12 or something like that. I don't know. 37-12.
I wonder if that's origami. Be an interesting score. You know what? That'd be if they actually win 37-12. I'm gonna be so fucking salty at you.
Dude, that would go viral if you got that random of a score fucking spot on, dude. You would fucking. Yeah, you definitely 37-12. All right. That would be the title of your guys' show, the 37-12 podcast. If you was
all right, so I'm picking the Eagles in this game.
Interesting. What's your reasoning, sir?
But okay, so here's my reasoning. Why did the Philadelphia Eagles make the playoffs? Joe, you asked that question. The main reason is because they played a bunch of shit teams at the end of their schedule. But part of the reason is because they're actually not a bad football team. They almost beat the Buccaneers, if you recall. They played the Buccaneers earlier this season. The Buccaneers got out to a 21-7 lead at halftime, but the Eagles came back and almost won at the end of the game. The only difference was They actually almost had the Buccaneers stopped and almost got the ball back, and then Tom Brady made a couple crazy plays on third down to go be able to run the clock out. But the Eagles almost beat the Buccaneers earlier this year, so I don't see any reason why if they play a little bit more of a complete game this time around, I don't see why they can't do it again.
I don't think the refs are going to let that happen, but that's a pretty bold prediction. The NFL does not want Tom Brady to get a first-round exit. I don't guarantee much. I will guarantee the Buccaneers win this game. That's how confident I am of fucking Brady getting to the next round. I'm not going to guarantee a Brady Super Bowl, but I will guarantee they beat the fucking Eagles this weekend.
Yeah, the Eagles would be up by 20 with like 2 minutes left of the clock, and the refs would go the refs just literally just pause the game, like, all right, we got to give the Buccaneers a chance because we just cannot let the Eagles beat the Buccaneers. Nobody would care. Nobody will care, but people in Philadelphia. Only people in Philadelphia probably wouldn't care. Oh yeah, whatever, it's fine. We'll buy you anyway.
I'm going for I'm going to predict 29-24 the final score of this game. But I will say, Joe, for what it's worth, I did famously pick the Mitch Trubisky Bears to beat Aaron Rodgers' Packers last year, like on Sunday Night Football or something like that. So maybe take my prediction with a grain of salt. But I got this feeling about the Eagles this week. I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, but I think this week, I think they beat Tom Brady.
Dang, we should bet $1 million.
On the record prediction for the Browns this year, when I interviewed Eric Metcalf, we both predicted. We both came to the conclusion we're going to go 13-4. So my accuracy isn't exactly up there either. So we'll see.
Well, I think I picked the Browns to go 12-5. So
yeah, oh yeah. I had Eric Metcalf, Leroy Horde, Lee Bowden, Braylon Edwards, and then Ricky Williams. Those are the football players I bet on.
Damn.
It's a banger show. You got to check it out, man. If you haven't checked out the STD podcast, dude, you got to check it out, bro. We got DC, the Brain Supremes coming up in 2 weeks. But the reason I like coming up on shows like this is because I don't really want to do a sports show just myself because, like, I don't like repetition a lot. It's like time I used to do mics and shit. It's like I don't like doing mics because open mics because it's like, for one, I would just get too high and forget the fucking jokes. And two, it's like I don't like repetition, man. I see some of my comic friends, they'll go out and do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mics a week, telling the same jokes to the same fucking people.
Yeah.
That's how it is with sports talk, man. When you're during the season, there's a lot to talk about. You had the games and shit like that. You can break it down, go to the next week's game. But during the off season, there's 9 or 6, 7, 8 months of fucking, just like, oh, who should the Browns trade this week? It's like come on, shows like yours, I get a lot of pent up, sports stuff that I don't just get to talk about my regular show. So that's cool, man. Good stuff. But yeah, I get famous guests and stuff, man. I hustle at it, bro. I'm on shows like this. I mean, not necessarily sports shows, but I'm on YouTube quite a bit, bro. Quite a bit. I go on cameras a lot.
Hey, we're gonna say, hey, look, shout out to you. Thank you for coming on. I know me and Kyle were very happy to have you on here. You're fun. Thank you for sticking around for predictions. We got I think it's going to be very interesting because we have some differences here. I think Kyle is going to end up his difference with him. We're going to be picking the Eagles over the Buccaneers. I don't got nothing else to say. Kyle, you want to go ahead and say what you have to say?
Yeah, well, real quick, Joe, you mentioned that you run a show. So you want to, before we leave, you want to tell the audience where they can find you at? Yeah,
it's only on YouTube. We don't do a podcast version anymore because it's fine. I found that nobody else was really listening to the audio only version. And I like looking at myself. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a visual person, and part of selling the show. It's a personality based show, so I got to sell personality. So people need to look at me, so they got to think I'm attractive. So I need a visual medium like YouTube. But yeah, every Friday night, typically 9:30, sometimes give or take a little earlier, depending on the guest. But on YouTube, definitely subscribe. If you two haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. Hook that up. It's great. You're not gonna be disappointed, man. I bring the energy all the time. Like from the time I get up to the time I go to bed, I'm nonstop. Bring a lot of fun shit to the table. Dude, I've had a great guest. I had on the guy from Loonies. I got 5 on. I had on Pistol Grip Pump. I had that guy on. We had I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt. That guy was on.
Awesome.
Dude, there's been some bangers on there. The chick from Austin Powers, Start the Laser. She was on. Dude,
you had Austin Powers chick on?
Yeah, Mindy Sterling. Yeah, hell yeah.
So what's the name of the channel?
It's a Square Table Degenerates Podcast. YouTube.com/STD Podcast. Here, I'll link it in the private chat here or
whatever. All right. Well, so yeah, go check that out, guys. I'll be checking it out after this. probably tomorrow when I'm not doing a billion things.
I'm gonna be checking it out to this pod. I'm gonna be checking it out. I want to see the Austin Powers lady. I love Austin Powers. Yeah, baby.
That's the when I'm emailing guests like to try to get them on the show. That's the interview I send them. This is the first one I haven't seen. So Austin Powers chicks. That's probably the most famous one that's been on. I would say probably right up there.
I broke Britney Spears, baby. I love that scene when he goes like, "It's Britney Spears, baby." He's like, the Britney Spears like,
okay. All right. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening to this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast. You can always find more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/the Phelps. My Bengals coverage at atvnetwork.com/Cincinnati Bengals, and my YouTube channel, which is just Kyle Phelps. And do a lot of Bengals-based content there and some funny stuff too. Probably not as funny as Joe, though. So you can always find more of what Thomas does at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram, and at the Thomas J Network on YouTube and TikTok. And go check him out there. He's coming out with Black Baker Mayfield 4 here pretty soon, and I'm looking forward to that.
oh yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
And go check out Joey everywhere that you can find him. Really appreciate having you on, man.
Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, we'll have to revisit the predictions and maybe do another little bit next couple weeks for sure.
That we could. All right, but
anyway, anytime.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Thanks for listening, everybody. I'll leave y'all with a hoo day.
Go Browns.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Hell yeah.